Welcome to Real Life Topics Podcast, guys. Welcome to Real Life Topics Podcast. It's Thursday evening, 7-ish p.m. time, Central. Welcome to Real Life Topics.
Woo! Damn, I think the thing ain't on.
Nah, the thing ain't on. We couldn't even get that together. Welcome to Real Life Topics, y'all. Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Welcome, y'all. Happy Thursday. Thursday, June 12th. Welcome to Real Life Topics Podcast. We just waiting on our special guest, our special exclusive interview with Mr. Derek Powell. But first and foremost, we want to thank God.
Who was the head of our lives. The Waymaker. The life bringer, the giver, the taker of all. You understand what I'm saying? He paid it all. The cost of us, honey. We is here, blessed because of, okay?
We just want to thank God for this beautiful Thursday. Thank him for blessing our children all this week and continuously blessing our children for the rest of the week at school or summer camp or whatever you got going on. We definitely want to praise God. That is the first and foremost shout out that Real Life Topics Podcast has to offer for you guys today.
And to be honest with y'all, we're going to shout out the rest of y'all, but to be honest with you guys, the only person that we need, okay? I'm just going to tell y'all right now because people are faulty, okay? People come and go, but your life and God in it is forever, okay? We want to be forever grateful and thankful for everything that we have, all the things that he have done, all the things that he will do, okay? Keep us protected, keep us safe, keep us mentally whole, physically whole, because today's topic is mental health.
Mental health for men, men's mental health awareness month.
Yes, that's what it is. I got my Tupac shirt on. That's why I said, it's men's mental health. So
she put the Tupac shirt on for men's mental health awareness. Okay, shout out to Tupac. May you rest in peace, sir.
One of the ones, Lord. He's been gone for a long time, y'all. He was one of the, it is so crazy as you get older and we have like the Michael Jacksons and the Whitney Houstons and, you have to tell your kids about these things. They may come across music and it's like, dang, you was alive for a time such as that moment. You was alive to witness the greatness thereof, of certain people, places, and things,
Mm-hmm.
Y'all remember, I know this is like probably way off kilter, but y'all remember Homie the Clown in Chicago? That time the man in the jump out van was taking all the keys. I'm sorry, it's not funny, but
yes, Homie the Clown was a mess.
Yes.
He was a mess.
I remember we was going trick or treat. I was at my grandmama and them house on 99th and Wallace. Cause I keep saying Walcott. Shout out to 99 people. All the people back in the day that South Side shit. But I remember us going trick or treating, and they was telling us like traveling in droves because okay, so I guess I can answer this. We a little loud, but this is Real Life Topics. What did you? I'm live, baby. What you need?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's just this mic. It's not working.
What do you mean it's not working?
The front wheel is not working.
How? What do you mean?
It's Real Life Topics. I don't know, Mr. Powell. We sent you the.
What are you talking about?
No. Stop.
So the training wheels probably need to be, or maybe the chain. It looks like the chain is maybe not on there. I mean, but I'm not there, so I can't do it. But the chain, is it all the way on the track on the front?
Yeah.
The training wheels may need to come off the ground a little bit more. You may need to. You see,
sometimes I'll be having to open up the link in Chrome. You might have to open up the link in Chrome because I do be having to do that sometimes on my page.
Yes, it does not let you go through all the time. I have to copy and paste it to the web browser in order to come through.
Right, and sometimes, like I said, I just go through the 3 dots on the side and press open Chrome. So I think that's most likely your dilemma. Opening Chrome.
A little zesty, little.
Yes, it's kind of hot up in here. Turn on that AC. Welcome to Real Life Topics, y'all.
A fan or something. Woo! Let's talk about it. I'm ready, Mr. Derek Powell. Get this interview going. anything, what they say, Murphy's Law, anything that can happen will happen. And you just kind of, sometimes you're not prepared, but you know, you have to be prepared as best as you can be. And it just is what it is, you know? Life sometimes, and you just have to take it as it comes, you know? But it's okay. It is okay. You gotta put something back in so y'all don't be seeing all our business in the background.
Okay.
Some black paper.
Let's see our Real Life Topic studio. It's going down.
Luckily, I got the Indian in my family. I ain't got no B2Bs about this. We had a friend back in the day we used to call B2B. Remember B2B off Mark? For the good time.
He said it's not letting him in. You open it up in Chrome because the same thing happened to us when we was a guest on another. Okay, there we go.
Here we are. Look
so that's what I do.
Yeah.
So
yeah, click it.
Perfect. There we go. I still don't see a face, but I guess
it's coming.
It's coming. All right. Turn get it together.
Look at God. Thank God for progress. Get it together. One of these days we're gonna click on. It's gonna be like a little whole look. We're gonna get it together one day, y'all.
Yes. We gonna get it together. And it looks like we having a little technical difficulty still with a little signal or something. How about that? What's going on with that?
That's on his end. That's not ours.
Yeah, that got to be Mr. Powell. That got to be Mr. Powell.
I'm sorry, I had to throw that in there.
I wonder why.
He got to get on the right network or something. We're going to get it together.
Sure is. Maybe we should link out and link back in or something.
I don't think it's the same. I think he has to do what he got to come.
We can hear you, but it's faded. You're lagging. That's what the kids say, right? They're lagging. You're totally lagging.
Your picture is distorted and you're coming in and out. We cannot hear you.
Try to log out, log back in again. Perfect. Yes, let's try that. Try to log in and log. Welcome to Real Life Topics, though, y'all. We miss y'all from last Thursday. We miss y'all so much. Welcome to Real Life Topics podcast.
That looks a little better. Okay, come on.
But it's still like a signal.
Okay, can you hear us? Can we hear you? Testing. 1, 2, 3. No, it sound like it look.
Right. Why is it doing that? We put our practice in with all this, and you mean to tell me it's doing us like this again? It's Real Life Topics. That's all I gotta say. Stop.
On my laptop.
You on your phone? You said?
I'm on my laptop. And the phone.
Right. Try the phone. Because you would think it would be the opposite.
Maybe it's your Wi-Fi or something.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because
this is foolishness. We rebuke the devil in this podcast. Tonight we're going to ask that God come through, okay, and save us and get the energy together to give us what we need to succeed on this podcast. Tonight we're going to make it happen one way or another.
Yes. Come on with it. Let's try the phone or something.
All right, here we go.
I wonder why it's doing that, though. I mean,
we gonna try, like you said, try the phone, try another way or something. Let's see. Look at that. Ain't that something? That is so much better.
Oh, well.
We gotta come up out of it.
Let me take myself out.
See, look, God, a little prayer. This ain't prayer changes things. So do we need to come together more? Because it's like now that.
Oh, I know. Are we able to get rid of this?
Well, he has to come off of his other one. There we go.
Okay. Welcome to Real Life Topics podcast, Mr. Powell. Did you pause again? Hey, this is just how we was getting in.
Oh.
Maybe it just said right here.
But at least the phone.
Right here. Right. The phone is better. So there we go. We it's gonna come through this time. It's gonna come through. It's gonna.
Why keep though?
Real Life Topics podcast.
like, you know what?
Oh my gosh.
I had so much. Like the screen came through, you know.
I guess we should have left him on there with the 3 screens. How about that? They keep bouncing us out.
Okay, look. I think this is it. Look at that right now. Oh.
I don't mean to laugh, y'all, but this is Real Life Topics Podcast, where we discuss the dynamics of life and real life stuff does happen. This is technical difficulty. We have an exclusive interview this evening with Derek Powell, and this is no script, baby. This is all real, and this is what we like about it. It's like reality TV. It's technical difficulties, but guess what? The devil ain't gonna get us though tonight. We're definitely gonna get it in. The devil is not gonna get us tonight. Don't even worry about it, bruh. Don't even worry about it.
Okay, so how can we do this? Because we're trying to. Okay.
It's okay. It's just a signal. That's that Delaware. Come on, girl. No. Oh, what you gotta say? I told you so.
Girl. Don't, you can't say the wrong thing to me because once I pop the phone, don't stop like screaming.
Shout out to everybody that's tuning in to Real Life Topics Podcast this evening and any evening, even after this live. If you checking us out when you come home from work this evening, shout out to all y'all. It's real life, baby. It's real life. We're waiting on Mr. Derek Powell. We got a technical difficulty. The signal is like totally off. But guess what? The devil ain't gonna get us. God gonna move it on through for us. Just move and try to re-add because his phone was coming in way clearer than the laptop. Can you hear us, Mr. Powell? No, we didn't have to do none of that. We've been fine. All we doing is like. Like I said, exit out and remove.
Remove? You gonna take him out?
Yeah, and try to add him again. I mean, we ain't got no signal, so. We ain't got no signal.
I like that new Ecstasy by Tiana Taylor, Sierra, and
It's a song.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see Tiana Taylor getting her thing on. Shout out to Miss T.
She been though. Don't give me a Tiana been though.
Shout out to Miss T, baby.
Is her name Harmony or Harmony? What's her name from Fifth Harmony? The girl.
Oh yeah.
The one that with Cardi B.
I know who you talking about. Dark skinned girl. Yeah.
What's her name though? We don't want to mess up.
Normani.
Yeah, her Normani, Sierra, and Tiana Taylor got the Sierra Ecstasy remix.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear it. Yeah, I heard of it, and so it's nice, huh? So you could hear us? No, he didn't, my son. That boy got the game twisted.
What?
This Aiden.
Oh wow.
You got the game twisted.
I thought that was other one.
No.
You lost your man. You left.
He said he was on. But he can't see us, and we couldn't see him.
So it's the same thing as Facebook.
So you can hear, but we still can't hear you. Can you hear us? We still can't hear you talking. So technically, we
still out.
Yeah, we still out because I mean we still can't hear you.
Okay, we're gonna just come out and try it again.
Yeah, let's just try it again. Let's just try it again. Try to add yourself again, Mr. Powell. But yeah, I don't know.
I ain't gonna lie, this is disappointing though because we really trying, y'all.
Yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is.
I like my cup.
It is what it is, and it ain't what it used to be. Okay.
Glad. Eco-friendly, not drink plastics and things of that nature. Because I don't like the microplastic. You know what I mean? I'll be all into all the other stuff.
Okay.
I like my cup. I got it from this place called, I think it's called Pop Sugar or Sugar Pop or Pop something. It's like a dollar store, but it's like Upscale.
Okay, they be having the fancy cups.
They have
Angel had
everything.
got me one of them cups for Christmas.
They have everything. They have everything. All of the name brand stuff before the live.
Welcome to Real Life Topics, y'all. We having technical difficulties with our exclusive interview this evening, but it's okay. We still gonna dwell on mental health, men's mental health. We're not a man, but we do know how important it is to support men with mental health issues and just support men with mental, and generally speaking, just the mental health wise, and just, shout out to all the men out there. Shout out to all the fathers as well. Father's Day is this Sunday coming up. Shout out to all of the fathers. Happy Fathers.
Fathers, wanna-be fathers,
Uncles doing fatherly
all
duties.
that stuff.
Happy Father's Day to all the fathers all over the world from Real Life Topics Podcast. You guys are loved. You guys are appreciated. And you guys are so cherished. You guys are supported. And just know the world, this is a man's world.
No, it's not. I'm sorry.
I'm jabbing because I was trying to give y'all a little quote mixed in with the James Brown thing.
Yeah, no.
This is a man's world.
It's not.
And it would be nothing, but it would be nothing. I just had to put that in there. But again.
I guess. No, I'm just
Yeah.
playing. I'm just playing.
It would be nothing.
Listen, but we have to create safe spaces for our men because there are so many of them out there for women. And a lot of the times, men don't feel like they can express themselves in the way that we can. So not only should we create them, but I feel like also men need to be able to create them because y'all can't just put it on us to create y'all spaces for y'all. Y'all have to create them for each other as well. We have sisterhood. You all have to have brotherhood. Because you have to be your brother's keeper. Y'all too funny. I'm back.
Shout out to Mr. Ronnie Brown, baby.
What we do? We funny. Wait till you see us tomorrow. No.
Shout out to my friend, Mr. Ronnie Brown, baby. Period.
Listen, we have to get back to the mental health. We get sidetracked. This Aquarius thing.
You got a comment.
This is a man's world. Good bang, good day, Mr. Thompson. This is a duality world where men and women thrive together. Y'all need to add me to the screen.
We don't see the ad. We don't have an option.
Go there. No, what's there? Yeah, what's that?
Don't know, but you know what I am gonna do? I'm just gonna do I'm gonna send a link again up in here. I already know y'all both are gorgeous women inside and out. That's right, Mr. Brown.
Thank you.
That's right, Mr. Brown. Let me go on up here and try to send this again for the peoples. Okay. I'm finna send you a new link, Mr. Power. I think the new link gonna go through this time around.
Yeah, but because he got through. The problem's not getting through.
I know. I'm just trying to re-register. Hey, I don't know my business with this. I'm just sending you a new copy paste just to see if it's just a fresh start, sir. It's just a fresh start. See if that'll work for you. So just try that link one more time. But yes, and you are handsome inside and out. It's going down.
I want to get back to Sammy. I'm sorry, I don't got to talk shit. If this is a man's world, why y'all can't get y'all shit together?
But once again, I was trying to,
He started. I'm sorry.
He said, yes, it is. He know what he doing.
He trying to rally me up?
Yes, he know what he doing. Yes, this is a man's world, Karisha.
No,
it is a man's world.
It is a human world. And if we stop, see, that's the problem because that's that divide and conquer mentality, honey. It is our world as a whole. We have to come into balance of the masculine and the feminine in order for us. That's what they mean. When they talk about marrying and the two becoming one, it's not just the man and woman, it's the masculine and the feminine. Oh, hi, Mr. Powell. Oh, look, it looks like it's
Hello.
Look at God. Welcome to
Real Life Topics Podcast, Mr. Powell. Welcome to
Yes,
Real
ma'am.
Life Topics Podcast.
Yes, ma'am.
How's
Can you
your
hear me?
evening going? We can hear you.
Okay, my evening as well. So actually, I smoked like 3 cigarettes waiting for y'all.
we were here. No, I'm just playing. I'm sorry.
Welcome to Real Life Topics Podcast. This is Mr. Derek Powell. Everybody welcome Mr. Derek Powell from the People's champ. Welcome, Mr. Powell. How are you doing this evening?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
We doing well. We doing
Elated.
well.
Elated that we
I
finally
was
got it together.
I was watching y'all on screen the whole time, and I was laughing 'cause y'all just had me cracking up the whole time. Y'all was just like going back and
Somebody
forth
else can
with
be
it.
funny as hell. We acting cool and we be kicking it.
Right. Period.
But yeah,
Period. Mr. Derek Powell
yes,
from the
ma'am.
Life Chat podcast. Could you
Yes,
please
ma'am.
tell everyone who is Mr. Derek Powell?
Who is Mr. Derek Powell? Mr. Derek Powell is a 51-year-old recovering person. I'm the youngest of nine. I'm from a small town. I'm from over on the East Coast. I'm from Delaware, a little teeny tiny state, the smallest state in the country. Um, you know, I not when I say recovering person, I don't just mean from substances. I mean from life situations. Also, like trauma. One of my biggest experiences with trauma is watching my mother die in front of me at the age of 14, and still not fully grieving over that process. Not fully grieving over that situation. At that age, I was always with my mother. You know, I'm basically a mama's boy. Um, so and not grieving completely over that situation. No, I thought, like crying was grieving. That's like 5 to 7 steps, in that whole process, and I never reached that yet at the age of 51. So um, I just believe that's like that was the biggest catalyst for me. That was my biggest experience that basically changed or altered my thought processes from then to now. Yeah. That's just a little bit about me. Just a
Oh,
little bit.
okay. So what made you the name of your podcast is called Life Chat Podcast. How long has that podcast been out?
I started my podcast October 9th, October 9th last year. And the reason I chose that name was because I wanted it to be about just life in general. You know, even though recovery is recovery based, but life situations, we discuss a lot of different things on the podcast. It's not just about using drugs, because
Right.
um, I think we should know by now that when we use drugs or alcohol, that's like a small part of it.
Mhm.
The underlying issues, is a reason why we use the chemical.
Mhm.
So that's why I selected that title.
Oh, okay. Life Chat Podcast. That's why you
hmm
chose that title.
hmm
Well,
Just
I
about
do.
just about life. Just about life.
Yes, yes. Well, I do want to congratulate you for your effort. I'm so proud of you.
Yes, that's right.
I'm
Thank
so
you.
proud of you. Know it's a big battle to fight to for recovery and just staying sober and staying sober minded. And how long have you been clean?
Coming up on a year. I'm actually, what's today's date?
The
The 12th. 12th.
12.
12.
Well, 12 more days to be 11 months. So I'm almost at the year mark. But it
You
never
got the
stops.
11.
It's,
Oh, look
it's
at
a
God!
thank you.
Congratulations.
But it's a never ending cycle. I mean, it's never ending process. So I don't want to get caught up on that year and then the year and a day, then I go use again. So it's an ongoing process. So it's something that we should never like just make it like that's as far as we're
It's
going to
the
go.
final,
No,
right? Hmm.
no.
Well, it's like
Because
you
we
say,
always
you're
say,
forever learning until you die. You'll be forever. I'm not gonna say a recover, but in your healing process. So where are you in your healing process?
what do you mean?
As just far as where as you place yourself in life, because you say you are recovered. As far as the substance is concerned, but where are you in your healing emotionally?
I'm not recovered. I'm recovering.
Okay.
Emotionally, I'm still, you know, patching those holes up, and that plays a big part in my everyday life because of the way that I conduct myself. I still have um, situations that come up, and if I feel something on the inside, certain things that people might say, or certain ways that people might say things. still affect me now because of situations that happened way back then. And I think a lot of times people, I think a lot of times we fail to look at those things, and we think that we think that we're acting out or we're doing certain things just because of the situation now. And sometimes, a lot of times, it's not. It's because of past experiences, past hurts, past traumas, and but we just act on it as a way of coping.
Yes.
A lot of times we see people, not to push it off on anybody else, but a lot of times we see people act out or do different things in certain ways, and we say, "Oh man, they just tripping. They just doing this for this and that." And it's not even about that. It's about something else that's going on behind the scenes that we don't even know about.
So do you believe that you can, let's say, maybe get a person into a stage of recovery before they're ready, or is it something that they have to want to do?
That's something that you have to want.
You
That's
have to
something you have
want.
to want. You can't push anybody into it. You can, you know, I don't want to take it to that old cliche saying about the horse and the water and all that. I don't do all that.
No, the
But
facts though, that is a fact. That is a
yeah,
fact.
but it's not until you're ready. It's not until you even. That's the first thing, that the whole thought. The thought is the initial step. Just the thought of, I want to do something different. I know I can do this. I want to try something different. That's where, I mean, you can building, you can be in a rehab or whatever, but if your thought is not there to do anything with it while you're there, nothing's going to change once you come out.
And that's with anything in life. You can't
Anything.
anything, whether it be losing weight, gaining it, learning, or whatever. You have to be at the mind state to be able to do it when you're ready. And since we're talking about men's mental health, what is some advice that you can give someone who maybe is trying to get to the point to where you're at?
At this point in my life, I really try not to use the word advice. I try not to give advice. I may give it a suggestion,
Okay,
but
suggestion.
and it's a very fine line with those two. But
Mm-hmm.
just try not to do it. Try not to do it. Try not to do it all by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
My suggestion is reach out to other people. Try not to, become overwhelmed. You will become overwhelmed in this process, and it is a process. You know, and lighten up on ourselves. I think a lot of times a lot of times we really like we get down on ourselves a lot. But
Mm-hmm.
we'll beat ourselves up more than people on the outside will.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody can hurt me more than I can hurt myself. You know, and that's one of the realest things I've ever heard in my life. When somebody told me that nobody can hurt me more than I can hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but just try not to do it all by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Reach out, seek help. You know, I think a lot of times when people hear like therapy, like the word therapy, I think that sometimes when people hear the word therapy, they automatically assume the negative.
Mm-hmm.
But there are millions of people that use therapy.
Yes.
Therapy is just a way of helping you cope with situations. Giving you the tools that you'll be able to move through life now a little bit easier. Yeah. It's not about you're crazy or none of that type of stuff. It's just a
Sometimes
helping
people
hand.
say, I'm not talking to nobody about my business and all that when you say counselor, therapist, I heard it.
That's only
But
us. That's only
Right,
us.
right. But I've heard so
That's
many
only
people
us.
say that I'm not going to talk. What I got to talk to them for? It's like,
Because you need to
no.
talk to somebody
but
about
you
it. You're traumatized for a reason. You need to talk to somebody about it.
you know what's crazy about that, since you mentioned that? People, yeah, we will say that. We'll say that to people will say that type of thing. But you'll hear them on the phone. They're telling everybody around up and down the block the
Okay,
whole. You know what I
okay.
mean?
Trying
And
to get
those
some
people ain't gonna
therapy.
do that.
I'm trying to get therapy.
Yeah, that's
That's it.
yeah,
Yep. That's what
and
I
that's
be
that's
trying
just
to
going.
tell people. It's the same thing. It's just in a different way. Same stuff. It's
Yeah,
just in a different way. You might not tell your business to that one personal therapist or a counselor, but like you said, Derek, you on that phone running your mouth.
running
So
your
what
mouth.
what
Yeah,
difference does it make? What difference does it make? Okay.
And we need to
absolutely,
we
absolutely.
need to normalize healing, being functional,
Mhm,
not dysfunctional. We need to normal because dysfunction is normalized, like be on a wide scale. The delusion is real in
mhm,
a lot of instances, but we need to
mhm,
normalize being able to genuinely be who we are and being able to have a safe space to open up without being judged. Because, like
mhm,
they say, let he who was without it pass the first stone, and a lot of us got it. So it is
mhm,
good to be able to come across people who are able to tell their story and share it because a lot of the time that's what a lot of people need in order to just be able to come forth and be able to heal. So we thank you for coming forth today and talking to us about this. This is very
Yeah,
important.
yeah, yeah. And I like um I was thinking earlier today when I was way in another I was in my hometown. This is not my hometown that I live in now. I was in my hometown at Walmart and I was just sitting there and I was trying to figure out what I was going to say when I got on here and how this was going to go. And I had to let it all go because I forgot it all anyway. But
Exactly.
you know, my whole thing is I like definitions. I like to whenever I do episodes and stuff, and if I have somebody on and we have a topic, I like to do the definition of the topic. So I had the topic and it's on my screen right here on my laptop. The definition of mental health. It says mental health encompasses emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It is the way individuals think, feel, and act, which influences how they handle stress, relate to others, and make decisions. So, with all that being said, those three words, um, emotional, psychological, and social well-being, right? That's basically breaks down mental health. But a lot of times, as soon as we hear those words, mental health, we automatically go to the dysfunctional side. We automatically go to where they're nuts, they're crazy.
Right.
That's not what it is. That's two totally different things. You're talking about mental illness, not mental health. Mental
Right.
health is basically dealing with your stability, keeping your mindset healthy, not the illness side, because now you're talking about something that you have no clue of at all, no knowledge of
Right.
at all.
Right.
We're not doctors, you
Right.
know.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's just this whole thing is crucial, especially being. I really didn't want to say it, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it.
Say it.
Especially
Say
being,
it.
especially being a black man,
Yes.
because
Yes.
we really have to come together and I was on another podcast and I was talking about this. I think we need spaces. We have to be able to put ourselves in spaces and settings to be able to talk to each other and get this stuff out because as being raised as a man or being raised from childhood, right? What do we hear as being little boys? Little boys don't cry.
Mm-hmm.
Men don't cry. We gotta be macho. We gotta be this and we gotta be that. Well, we have tear ducts for a reason, right?
You
You
have
Yes.
know,
feelings and
you
emotions for
know,
a reason. They're there.
abs- absolutely. But we, and all this, we have to bottle this stuff up. We have to live by these societal norms.
Mm-hmm.
Society says we have to be this way, and we meet a woman and she expects us to be this big burly guy that know how to fix cars and build a
Mhm.
house from the ground. I'm not doing all that. But
He said
you
he
know,
ain't doing. Wait a
I'm not.
minute, Derek.
I'm not doing all that.
We gonna get back to that. We gonna
I
get
know. That's
back to
why.
that. You ain't
I
doing
know.
all that. We gonna
I
get
was
back to
expecting it.
that now.
I was expecting
Yeah.
that from you. I was expecting that. But people just assume that men are supposed to be this, something else. What about our feelings? What about our emotions? What about the fact that we may have been traumatized? You know,
That's
I'm
right.
I'm just gonna I'm gonna give you this example, right? And don't hold it against me. Do not don't hold it against me, right?
I'm already
Within the
holding. I
last
understand.
within the last few months, right? I know I've been trying to not to get involved in relationships because I know my process right now, and I don't want to take on other people's problems, other people's stuff, and stresses, and it's too
Yeah.
much for me right now. But I did try
Okay.
it. I tried it a couple times, just didn't work. Red flags, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I keep telling my life is an open book, so I'm going to share this. A few years ago, I was stabbed in my chest by a woman, punctured my lung, landed in a puddle of blood, literally almost died. And so now, like when women like women I meet, and it's all good and fine, and they say that one thing, they say something, and it just reminds me of how that conversation went before,
You're
Mhm.
and I got
traumatized.
stabbed in my chest.
You're
Yeah, but
traumatized.
people don't see that. People don't think that that's even real. You know,
Mhm.
and just key words. Sometimes you might hear something or watch somebody, and they just do something, and it
You're
reminds
being
you of.
triggered. You're being triggered.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
So
real.
all that emotional stuff comes up. And
Mm-hmm.
if we're not, I'm not gonna say smart enough, but if we're not aware of ourselves and aware of what's going on with us, we'll try to stay in it and try to force it, and then that's where
Yeah.
we get hurt. Well, let me
Yep.
rephrase that. That's where we get hurt. when I'll get
Yes.
hurt. You know, it may not be physical. You know, yeah. I just want to throw that part out there.
Yeah.
Oh, I ain't
Oh,
building no houses either. Oh, come on.
we got. Okay, so we gonna get back to that. I got
Yeah.
a question though. So with that being said, when you do enter into spaces with people, are you more open about maybe having those conversations about things that have happened prior or previously? You know what I mean? So that way, maybe you're the person knows how to handle or deal with you.
You mean do I expose it? Do I put it out there?
Yeah, do you have that
Sure.
conversation?
I will have that conversation with anybody. Now I will. Now I will. But one of the first things that and my folks told me it might be an issue that I do this, but I do is I explain my process now, my recovery process now. I'm not going to use the words the whole recovery lingo in that conversation, but I'm just going to explain what I have done in my past and what I'm working on now. You know, but and I don't think that a lot of people are ready for that. You know, because and which is fair. A lot of people don't want to put themselves in a situation where I'm afraid that you might use or I don't want anything to happen. You know, that's fair.
It
You know,
is.
but once you take it on and say, you know, I can do it, I can deal with it, I can handle it, this and that, and then now you're looking around the corner trying to see what I'm doing, and you know, we're not, that's not what this thing is about.
And that's not
You know,
healthy. That's not
But
healthy.
at
I
all.
think that's one of the number one rules in the recovery. I'm not sure if that's one of the 12 steps, but one
Suggestion,
of them is, huh?
suggestion.
Okay. Well, I just know that in recovery that they say that you're not when you're healing and trying to stay clean, relationships is one of the number one no-nos. Trying to get
Yeah,
in a relationship with another. It's on
yeah,
the list as far as one of the number one no-nos as far as in your healing process to recovery. They suggest
yeah,
that you don't get in a relationship because it will trigger you to maybe
and it
relapse
will.
or something like that.
And it will. It
Yeah.
definitely will because, like I said earlier, you're taking on. You know, you're not only just dealing with your own stuff that you already have. Now you're dealing with the individual that's by your side. You know, because it's not going to be. It may not be a super easy walk. You know, so you already have your own issues, your own problems, you have stuff you're dealing with. They have stuff they're dealing with. Now you put all that together, and it's like a bomb, a ticking time bomb. You know,
Yeah,
but
that's I've
a lot of
heard
times,
that a lot.
a lot of times it works. A lot of times it doesn't. I mean, it depends on how you know
The
the
person
individual,
depends on the person.
how both people work it out. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's just the certain things that you should just do in any relationship. You know, what they say, honesty is the best policy because you at
What
least
they're
give
saying.
the person um, time to process and make their own decisions versus making those decisions for them. Because a lot of the times people try to hide who they are, and then you get into a relationship, and then all the other stuff comes out, and so
Yeah,
on and so forth.
yeah.
And then it's still not working. It still winds up not working out. So the best thing you can do is be very transparent, be as honest as open as you can be, and to be honest with you, I because you know, like they say, you attract what you are. You'll more than likely vibrate somebody
Hmm.
towards you who may understand. You know what I mean? Or you know, you just give them the opportunity to be able to deal in the best way that they know how. My
I rather
thing
my
is
whole
when we
thing. Go ahead.
go ahead.
My whole thing
No,
with
go
that
ahead. I'm
situation is I always just wanted to put it out there first before anybody else, before somebody else outside try to come in and throw a wrench in there. You know, so I figured I'd
yeah,
go ahead and let you
full
know.
transparency. That makes sense though. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You can't use nothing against me. This is who I am. Take me or leave me. It is what it is.
Mhm.
But just as we were saying earlier, I was talking about being able to create a space because, like you said, when we speak upon men, there are certain expectations that society has about men. So not and there are a million and two safe places for women. Whether you be battered, bruised, abused, recovered, healed, unhealed, there's a million and two places for women. And I was just saying how we need to create those spaces, but also men need to create those spaces because a lot of the times you can't come to your brother and say certain things because then they have the same stigma upon you that society has. Oh, you a man up. You shouldn't be. You shouldn't. You know what I mean? So how do you deal with that? Do you create the space? What do you do? And when you come across situations like that, do you see a brother and acknowledge him? Because sometimes you can see a mental breakdown in the person before it happens, but it's like I guess if you're not able to cope or deal with it, you don't really know how to maybe speak to a person. Um, what do you think about that?
Personally, you know, as I got older, I learned to discern.
Yes.
I like that word discern. I like that word. I like that word. I
Yes,
learned to be
yes.
able to. I like to be able to I've been able to recognize because I've been there. You know, if it's something that I really that's out of my wheelhouse, I might just stand back a little bit because I don't want to give somebody misinformation or suggest something or try to help somebody and it backfires. But if something that I know about, I'll approach. And that's only because I've been through it. And this is not my first time working on the recovery process. Uh, it's been a couple of times, and I used to work in the field of recovery, um, and you know, substance abuse, mental health, and homelessness. That's my profession. Um, so I recognize a lot of different things going on outside of myself because I know what's going on with me. So I know what it feels like to be in certain situations because I've been there. And I'm not talking about no book smarts. I'm not talking about book stuff or the office stuff. I'm talking about my lived experiences. You
Uh-huh.
know, um, a lot of people sometimes I think sometimes we society I'm not, yeah sometimes society looks like kind of shies away from individuals because of the way they respond. But you have to understand a lot of people are coming out of situations that that's what that required. Um,
Trauma response.
like you have people that are living in woods. You have people that are living in tents. You have people that are sleeping on benches. You have people that are coming out of prison from doing a 44-year. One of my friends coming out of prison just did like 43 years. You know, so how is he supposed to respond to that? How are you supposed to respond when somebody certain thing or says a certain thing to you a certain way? You're only going to respond to the way that you were conditioned previously until you
Mm-hmm.
actually work your way back into um, what we would consider to be regular life. Regular life.
Well, I mean, regular life from a societal perspective ain't really regular.
Quote.
It's not really. It's not real. I mean, let's just be honest. The reality of it is, um, just like I was saying, as far as creating spaces, we were just speaking upon something for young men. You know what I mean? There are not. I don't really see a lot of spaces out there for trauma and things that males go through for them to be able to heal and talk and have mentors. That's another thing that I find problematic in today's society. The men don't take on the men. Like they don't mentor. They don't take on. And I maybe it comes from a space of not knowing how to because of the things that they have been through and maybe not wanting to put those walls or not or breed the wrong kind of energy into a child. But we need those things.
We
There's not a
also
lot of mentorship for men, young males.
we also had to remember this. There was a saying a few years. This was a long time ago. This saying, if somebody did something or said something, you would say, I don't know about Chicago, but I know like Philly area and all that. They would say, I don't blame you, I blame your old head, right? So
Right.
like it's not sometimes it's not the things that you might know. It's about the people whoever brought you in, whoever raised you. They may not have known. Maybe it's not their fault. And also we have to remember that these young kids now they're influenced by well, not just them, but a lot of people are influenced by videos, music,
Mm-hmm.
diamonds, gold, and that's all they know. But we also have to remember is a lot of times they're in the atmosphere. They're living with they're living with their friends or living with their homies. They're living with um, people that are getting high. They're surrounded by gun violence all day, every day. So if we really look at it, that's not even really that child. That child is traumatized. That child is dealing with PTSD and is undiagnosed. But the only thing that we see is how the child is acting out. But we don't realize that the child is living in a trap house where five people just started shooting at each other, and there's two people in the basement smoking crack, and somebody stole a car, and all this stuff happened within a week's time. And this is an ongoing situation. But the only thing we see is how the child is responding through their action.
Mm-hmm.
So do you believe that um kind of like a generational curse upon our men, and how do we fix that? How do we go about getting mentor counseling to kind of maybe reverse what's going on in the older generation so we can save the younger generation? How do we do that?
It's just it's just about, like I said earlier, it's just about the small batches. It's about small batches, one step at a time. There are some of us that are out here doing those things, but there's a lot more people that are not. So it's just we have to just play our part and help. If we can help, we can help. We can't try to take on the world at once, but each step is going to help make the world a better place. That's
Well,
the
they
way
say
I see it.
iron sharpens iron, so we got to
Yeah,
get some sharp iron to be
yeah,
able to sharpen. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's about just helping. If just you have to do what you can do, and grab on. Somebody else has to grab on. You can't. You're not going to be able to take on the whole world.
Yeah, you just have to do your part, but it's so hard because it's like when you know that there are so many other things that can be done. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So you have to
Yeah,
find the space. I definitely understand. Definitely, like I
yeah,
said, creating the space for you all to be able to be comfortable, to be able to express your feelings without what one of our what she say. Most men don't want to share their feelings because
yeah.
chocolate drop. He says most men don't want to share their feelings because they're looked upon as weak when they do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Shout
So
out to Chocolate Drop. Shout out to Mr. Ronnie Brown. Mr. Ronnie Brown said, "Thank you for sharing your pain." Welcome to Real Life Topics, you guys. Shout out to Mr.
Yeah.
Holmes.
That's definitely true because a lot of time, as I said earlier, we have to be a man. We have to be super big, and we have to be show our muscles and talk a certain way.
yeah,
Yeah,
show
we can
your
do.
muscles
We can.
after you heal, though. After you heal, because how you gonna show
Hey,
your muscles if you in a depleted state? You can't point to nobody else's cup until you feel your own. Like you
yeah,
said, you can't build the house like you say all the cliches. How you gonna be able to build your house up and you constantly giving your bricks away?
yeah,
So with that being
yeah.
said, men, y'all need to come together. I mean, because we can only do so much. We
Right.
we have to get more of you all together to be able to create these spaces. I'm willing to. We were just talking about it. Because we
Well,
have
your
boys.
opinion might not count for the men. I'm just saying that's how they got programmed. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
That was just a little too blatant, man. That was like your opinion might not count.
We trying, listen,
I'm
because
just
you
saying.
know, they say that women can't raise men.
Right,
Our beds are
right.
different to a certain
Yeah,
degree. To a
I'm
certain
just
degree.
saying. Don't
Because
count.
I get it. You know what
Kamala,
I mean?
Kamala wasn't coming no president. A woman ain't running nothing.
Don't
A
start,
woman
girl.
ain't running nothing around here.
All I'm saying is
That's a no. That's a whole nother topic right there.
a whole other time for a whole other day, okay? But all I'm saying is we have to take time to we have to be soft at some point in life. It's like we just got these hard exteriors about ourselves because of the trauma from multiple generations before us. You know what I mean? So it's like we have to relearn how to deal with each other in society. Just like I speak upon in laws, like, we had all these laws that were created for us hundreds of years ago. I think all those laws need to be thrown in the trash and we need to rewrite new. We need to become anew because sometimes the old things ain't working for the new, you know? So we have
But
to
if
figure
nobody,
out a way. Go ahead,
if people, if we don't come together and make this and let this be known, not too many things are going to change. Because as we already know, and I'm sad, it's sad to say we already know a lot of things are not designed for us to win, but not
exactly.
not even to win, just to maintain. A lot of
To
things not even
thrive at
designed for us to
all, just to
maintain.
be. It ain't meant for us to
Yeah,
be.
yeah,
Just be,
yeah,
just live, just breathe.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And I just was talking to her earlier about how men and women just need to understand that we are not the same. Just understand that and be okay with that. I'm not you not me. There are certain things that get me ticking and going, and certain things that get you ticking and going, and we may not fully understand those things, but we need to understand how to make it work for us, so we can come together. Because united we stand, divided we fall, and we are in a constant state of division, which is why we can't get ahead in life. And if we just really understand that it's as simple as being able to agree to disagree, but moving in a way that is beneficial for all of us, will be so much better off. We need to grow in that department because adults, as much as we get on these kids about stuff, the adults in this world, as far as we are concerned, We ain't got it together, and we need to get it together. We need to understand. Okay, we need to be able to be. It's okay. You operate this way, I operate this way, but how can we make it work for each other like a lock and a key? You know?
Cause you make it work for anything else. I'm just saying. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, something else.
Now,
But
Miss Harris
but
and
that's
who is
but
Harris?
No, he
all
said
that
not
is
Mrs. Harris because I mentioned the president.
Oh
Yeah.
well. Don't even get me
all
started. That's a whole discussion for a whole other day, a whole other time.
all that is true. But we also remember that we still see it every day. We see. I'm 51 years old, right? We see 50-year-old dudes and 55-year-old dudes and 60-year-old dudes still going to the shop, getting the braids to the back, and trying to be the young cat, and they're still sagging the pants. I don't know where that came from, but they're
Arrested
still trying to
development.
arrested
Arrested
development,
development.
arrested development. Yeah, that's one of my favorite. When I used to facilitate groups, that was one of my favorite parts of the curriculum because you're trying to make up for lost time, and you still want to be a part of. And I was caught up in that, and a lot of it get caught up in that. But you had to pull yourself away from that eventually, man. I mean, we all like to look good and feel good and do certain things and have a little party, and
That's
but
why we need each
got to
other
know when to
though.
bring it back. We got to know when to bring it back.
We need y'all because okay, so I in my mind, okay, men are you have the variable and you have the constant, right? So men are the constant and women are the variable, right? We're forever changing, you know what I mean? But we also need the constant because the constant grounds you. So we need each other in order for us to be able to grow in these areas. You know, we need that logical, we need the emotional, we need all of those things. We gotta like put the gumbo to mix the stew together and get it to taste good, so we can just, you know what I mean? So it can be something that is good for all of us, like the chicken soup for the soul type deal. You know what I mean?
Why you keep referring to food? Come on now. I saw your video the other day. You keep referring to food.
What
Come
you
on now.
mean? Apparently, listen, you know I cook. You don't know, but I cook by tell them. Food is my love language, and you got to be able
Food
to
truck
relate.
coming soon.
You have to be able to relate to the people at a certain stage. Because if I start talking in a way that people don't understand, they're gonna be like, "Well, girl, you need to." So I'm trying to form it in a way that you'll understand, or for everyone to understand.
Especially when
Well,
you a cooker like her. So
I understand food, so
cooking with
go on.
Kamisha.
And most people do. Most people do. I'm just
That's
saying.
crazy.
Yeah.
This is real life.
Did you get my drift or no?
I I got the food part.
Oh, you don't understand nothing else?
I got stuck with the food.
Oh, you stuck? Okay, well,
But I understood what you. I no. I honestly, seriously, I did understand what you were saying about bringing everything together. About it's not just about it's not one lane. We
yeah,
got to eventually we have to just bring. It's got to be there's pieces of everything to make one. You
yeah.
know, um, th- different people have different thought processes. We have different ways of doing things. We have different ways of looking at things, different viewpoints. So if we bring those different viewpoints together, well, probably we have a better chance of coming up with a more positive, more gainful solution. You know,
Definitely.
yeah, I get that, I understand that. But the only thing I heard was that gumbo. I heard that gumbo.
I cooked that good, baby. I put the whole
Sure
pot.
do, sure do. I always make sure I bring the ingredients over when she say she cooking them.
You
I
get a
say, let
whole
me.
pot.
I give me bring my pot with me and
Y'all
I'm
tripping.
just saying that's a
Y'all
giant.
tripping. Y'all tripping. But
everything.
I did want to say this though. I did want to say this. I have two things to say, right? But I'm not going to actually be on too much longer. I actually have to get off in a couple minutes, well, a few minutes. But I did want to say this to y'all. The whole setup. I see the whole setup that's going on now. Y'all doing big things right now.
Yeah.
When I first started seeing y'all, things were a little fuzzy and
Yeah.
vocals and things were popping, and but y'all stayed the course. Y'all kept going. I remember my very first video, my very first live when I first started my podcast. Trash. I'm talking about sucked. But that's what I'm talking about moving forward. Just like this. If people give up, if people just throw in the towel and say, this ain't gonna do nothing, that ain't gonna do nothing, we'll never accomplish anything as a whole, as a group, as a group of people.
Hmm.
The same thing, just like doing real life topics. The struggle is real, but you're still moving, you're benefiting. And I don't even know y'all really. Y'all from Chirac, I'm from over here. but
We're from Chicago,
um,
not Chirac. Don't put us in the
well,
Chirac category.
Chicago. Y'all from Chicago. Y'all from
You
Chicago.
go for Shot Town.
Y'all from Chi-Town. I'm over here. But as far as I'm concerned, y'all my friends. Um,
We're family. We're
and I follow
family.
y'all, right? And I'm just waiting for the day that y'all make it over here, or I make it over there. But yeah,
And
or
the rest
out
gonna be
there.
history. You know how like 70 Entertain and Bernie Mac and all them had them stories about how they used to do the that I was gonna mix up a whole I was gonna say the chilling circuit. They weren't even around during that time. But you know what I mean? They all
Right.
went and was at the different places and spaces. It's gonna be a group of us that are gonna be able to tell the story of how we all started and how God has blessed us to get to where we are at that point.
I want to know what was the difference in what I said? What's the difference with Chi-Town and Chirac? What's the word? What's the word? What's the difference?
Well, Chirac is like
That's a derogatory.
represent
That's a
right. That's
derogatory.
derogatory, and usually kids use that lingo. You
I
know.
told you
Chirac, Iraq, war zone. We're not from the war
I
zone.
I get that. I get that part. See, I told you. Listen, I told you I'm
Like
still
I said,
recovering.
the younger generation they kind of do that Chirac stuff. You know.
We are
You
not from
know.
no Chirac. We are from the city. We definitely name of love.
See, y'all
Said
just
I
talk.
know there
See,
is a
y-
light.
y'all just taught me something that could possibly save me in the streets.
Yeah,
Yes.
don't do that. Don't
No, no,
You
don't
know.
do that. Don't do it. No. But thank you so much, Mr. Power from the
Yeah.
Live Chat Podcast. Please check Mr. Derek Power out every Wednesday at 7-ish Central Time, but 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Am I correct?
No,
No. Okay.
7 o'clock Eastern time,
Okay, so
which
7
is
o'clock Eastern.
And what is it?
yeah,
What is it for
It'll
us?
be 6 p.m.
it'd be
Central
six.
Time.
Yeah,
So
six.
6
Yeah.
p.m. Central Time. Mr. Derek Powell, would you like to let everyone know who you are?
I'm sorry. I got one more question. One
Okay.
more question. Because you do a lot of interviews with people who are in recovery. What is one story? What is the one story outside of your own that has impacted you the most?
One story that's impacted me the most. There's several. Um, I'm not sure
You're not sure.
because they all. No, I'm not. I'm really honestly. I'm going to be honest. I'm not sure because they all are.
Unique.
They're all impactful because majority of the people we walk the same path basically.
Uh-huh.
So I really can't say one is more impactful than the other. I honestly can't say that.
Okay.
Mm.
That's
That's
understandable because I get that. I definitely do. I do.
I can't. I honestly can't put one over the other.
I get that. I get that. Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So, do you happen to have any quote of the day that you would like to leave with everyone?
Some
This is mental.
inspirational
This is
words or
mental health.
something.
This is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, and like I said, Life Chat Podcast is based off recovery. And did you have anything to leave with anyone this evening?
Words of
A quote,
encouragement, a
words of
quote, a
encouragement, quote for
scripture,
men.
something positive.
Yeah, mental health wise, what do you have? What type of quote do you have for to leave with us this evening?
I don't have anything philosophical. I don't have anything super huge, super dynamic to say, other than you're worth it. You know,
That's right.
be true to yourself. Be true to
That's
yourself.
right.
Don't throw in the towel. You know,
Don't
because
throw in the
without
towel.
us, without you, without us, without me, without you, nothing of this is possible. I mean, if you want to advance in life, you got to advance up here first. You know, me just give yourself a break. You know, give yourself a break, give yourself a chance. That's all I got right.
That's right.
Okay, one more thing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I never. That's like the third time you said one more thing.
I got three more things. Three more
Right,
things.
3 strikes, you're out.
What is the epiphany moment that you had to get you on your straight and narrow path to get you to where you are today?
Being tired of not having, knowing my capabilities, and letting everything pass me by.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, I started this journey in 2018. It's 2025 now, and I'm still at 11, coming up on 11 months. So there's been some relapses. I've had a few years of clean time in between, at straight through, but there've been a couple relapses. But 2018 was when I made the decision to even attempt to give myself a break, give myself a chance, and try. So I'm familiar with the process, but I just have to hold on. You know, but I'm just tired of letting my talents go, letting my not missing out on things. Um, my family, the whole family thing, um, being out in the street, getting locked up for long periods of time, uh, just not having, just not
Mhm.
having what I knew I could have, or what I should, I'm not wherever you're at. That's where you're supposed to be, wherever.
What you want
But
to be, what you want to be.
however you want to look at
Okay, well, we thank you. God bless you for your time, your effort, your presence. We thank you so much for your insight. It has definitely been impactful. You opened my eyes up to a few things as well. We thank you for joining us. You have any other
it.
words?
Thank you.
No, just happy to have Mr. Derek Powell from Delaware on deck. Check out the Live Chat podcast, 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern.
You got it.
Every
You got it. You
Wednesday.
got it.
You
You
got
got
it.
it. You got
Every
it.
Wednesday.
You
Every
got it.
single Wednesday.
What they say?
Check out the Life Chat Podcast. Thank you so much, Mr. Derek Powell, for joining Real Life Topics Podcast. Real Life Topics Podcast will be on the Life Chat Podcast very soon. So be looking out for that promo. And
Yes, it will.
we truly do thank you. Your
God
love and
bless.
kindness
God
will
bless.
never be forgotten.
God bless.
Have a wonderful evening. God bless. Give it up for Mr. Derek Powell. Woo!
Thank y'all.
Love. Have a good
I'm out.
evening.
Thank y'all.
And then back to you guys.
Now we ain't answer that. He said he wasn't gonna build that house. Let's get back to what he was saying.
But yes, Real Life Topics Podcast just did an exclusive interview with Mr. Derek Powell. We definitely is going to have a real life late night after dark within the next 10 to 15 minutes. But thank you guys for tuning in to the regular segment with Real Life Topics Podcast featuring our guest, Mr. Derek Powell from the Life Chat Podcast. Check him out every Wednesday. We check him out every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. See you guys in 10 minutes for Real Life Late Night.
Okay.
After